तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमताम् अपराधिजनं खलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरम् सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं। प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। We are going through Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter. The discussion between Narada and Vedavyasa Muni. Vedavyasa Muni, after compiling so many scriptures, he was not finding peace. At that time, he sat on the banks of Saraswati river in Badrikashram, and then he was meditating upon his guru. It is at that time Narada Goswami appeared in front of him, and Narada Goswami was asked by Vedavyasa Muni the reason for his unhappiness. Narada Goswami says that being a guru of the entire world, he has given a license to engage in ordinary material duties. He had very elaborately described about dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Religiosity, sense gratification, economic development and even liberation. All the four have been elaborated so nicely. But he had not written anything particularly for the devotees, for the pleasure of the devotees, that is, the glories of Supreme Lord, Hari Katha. He has not sung that. After saying that, Narada Goswami is telling that any literature, even if it is compiled so nicely, but it does not talk about the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, it is nothing but a garbage. On the other hand, even though the literatures in connection with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna are not compiled properly, means there are some defects in that, yet they are relished by Paramahamsas. The great devotees, they relish that. They sing those glories. they remember those scriptures and they hear to those topics. Therefore, for the pleasure of materialistic persons, you have written scriptures, which is a cause of their bondage. But you have not written any literature for Paramahamsas. Paramahamsas don't take pleasure in the garbage. They take pleasure in singing about the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. You should do that. After saying that, Narada Goswami is further elaborating on how devotion is the safest process compared to all other processes. One is doing karma, one is doing jnana or tapasya, dhyana, meditation, etc. Whatever one may be doing, there are so many hardships that one have to undergo during this period. But the end result is not certain, because unless until the Bhakti Devi, the goddess of devotion, showers the mercy, these processes will not be fructified, they will not bear fruits. Whereas devotion is completely independent. Now the question may arise, okay, I will give up all my duties to take up devotional path. What if I fall down in the middle of the process? I have not attained perfection. I have not attained the matured state in devotion, but I have either fallen down or I am dead, my body has come to an end. What will be the state of such a person? He has not followed the Varnashrama-dharma, the duties that he is supposed to follow, by doing which at least he is destined to get some Swarga or some other higher planets. He would be deprived of that also. At the same time, because he did not get maturity in devotion, he will go totally astray. But Narada Goswami is describing here, Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare bhajan apakko athapate tato yadi yatra kvava avadram abhut amushyakim kovartha apto bhajatam swadharmatah. A person may be performing the daily duties, regular duties, or the duties of the material life, what one is supposed to do for the society, for the country, for his own family, etc. But he is he has given up all those duties to engage in Hari Bhajan, and in the middle of it, even before he attained perfection in the process, he is either dead or he has not attained perfection, or he has fallen down. Then also Narada Goswami is telling that there is no harm. He does not have to be fearful that, oh, I have not done that and I have not attained this. He has nothing to worry in such a state. On the other hand, he is telling that a person may be engaging in the social responsibilities and the family responsibilities so nicely. What benefit has he attained by doing so? We read the purport by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Very detailedly we read the purport. Now we will go through the purport by Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. कर्मकांडेर विचार अवलंबन करिया जे वर्ण धर्म ओ आश्रम धर्म पालित হয় तद्वारा नश्वर जगतेर नीति मात्रई अनुसृत হয়. A person who is following the path of fruitive activities. Path of fruitive activities means performing an action in anticipation of some result. I want some result. So that's called the path of fruitive action, karma kanda. A person has followed this karma kanda And Vedavyasa Muni has nicely elaborated about this Karmakanda in various scriptures. That is why Narada is chastising him. You have written so much, but what is the use? Even if one has perfected in it, what is the use? Because Brahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartino Arjuna, starting from the Brahmaloka, right down to the Patala, one who has not attained perfection, or one who is in the bondage of karma, Punaravartino, he is only running in the cycle of birth and death. He is just traveling in the path, in the cycle of birth and death repeatedly. That's why here a person who might be following the karma kanda so nicely, and therefore whatever varna he belongs to, whatever social status he belongs to, whether it is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he is following all that. And Ashrama-dharma, or religious category he belongs to, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Tadvara Nashwar Jagate Niti Matre Anushrit Hoy. People may say that, wow, this person is so religious. People will say, oh, this person was very religious, or this person has followed all the society responsibilities, social responsibilities he has taken care of so nicely. So according to the materialistic persons, one may become a very, very noble personality. वर्णाश्रम नीतिर उन्नत प्रदेशे जे हरिसेवार नित्य चेष्टा अवस्थितो ताहा यदि भाग्यक्रमे जीवेर लभ्य হয় ताहा হইলে তিনি सर्वेन्द्रिय द्वारा भगवानेर सेवाय उन्मुख हन. But if by good fortune one gets to know about the supremacy of devotion which is on the top of Varnashrama-dharma. Why is Varnashrama-dharma performed? Swanushthidasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. The Bhagavat says, Swanushthidasya dharmasya. Whatever dharma you are anusthita, you are situated in, whether you are in a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra dharma, or whether in a sannyasa, grihastha, vanaprastha, whatever dharma one belongs to, swa anushtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. That will become perfect only if it gives pleasure to Hari. Or you can say the target should be to please Hari. One is a perfect Varnashrama-dharmi, means a follower of Varnashrama-dharma, perfect Varnashrama-dharma follower. But there is no actual benefit out of it, because whether Supreme Lord is pleased or not with my activities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore, he says, Iho bahyo age kahoar. There he says, Swadharme Vishnu Bhakti Sadhyasar. Rai Ramananda is telling, Swadharme Vishnu Bhakti, be situated in your own dharma and perform Vishnu Bhakti. That is what is being said. But Mahaprabhu says, leave it aside. Go further up. Why? Because as long as one is situated in Varnashrama-dharma, he is identifying himself with the body. I have taken a Brahminical birth. I am a sannyasi. I am a man. I am an animal. I am an Indian. I am an engineer. That is how one will be able to perform Varnashrama-dharma. As long as we are carrying these identities, one can become a very noble person according to so-called noble person in this world. They say, oh, this person was so noble, very moral. Morality, he is morality symbolized person, according to materialistic people. But Srimad Bhagavat says, Varnashrama nitir unnata pradeshe, that which is on the supremely higher to Varnashrama, which is Hari Bhakti. if it awakens in one's heart due to one's own good fortune. This arises only due to good fortune. Why? Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Peach. Not everyone. Brahmanda Brahmite, while we are moving in this world, we are traveling in this material world, not one lifetime, not for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, not for 10, 20 lifetimes, but for several lifetimes we have been traveling in this material world. Brahmanda Brahmite, not once. Brahmite, Brahmite, repeatedly we are traveling. Kono Bhagyavan Jeev. One very, very fortunate soul will get devotion. So, here Prabhupada is telling, Tini Sarvendir Dwara Bhagavanir Seva Unmukhan. Only such person will engage all his senses in the service of Supreme Lord. Otherwise, I am an Indian, or let's say I belong to this place, or I am husband of such and such person, I am wife of such and such person, therefore my duty is to do this. Today do bhajan, oh yeah, I don't get time, I have no time to perform bhajan. I have got a newly born baby now, I have to take care of that child, and another child is grown up, I have to take him to the school. So, I am identifying myself with all these things. But here, I am not able to give myself completely at the feet of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. This happens only to a very, very fortunate soul. तत्काले इंद्रिय सकल बाह्य विषय ग्रहण एवं इंद्रियपति बहिर्विषय भोक्तार अभिमानेर परिवर्ते स्वरूपतः हरि सेविकाभिमानी हन. So at that time one will be freed from his conception that I am an enjoyer. I have done this, therefore I have to enjoy. He will be freed from such a thought, and he will identify himself as I am a servant of Hari. Now I have done so much, I worked so much, therefore I have to get the fruit of that particular action also. I want to enjoy. He will be completely freed from all that, and he will identify himself as a servant of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Only when a fortunate person understands that devotion is higher than Varnashrama-dharma and gives himself completely in the service of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, such a person will identify himself as a servant of Supreme Lord. I don't belong to this material world. I don't belong to this Brahmanda. Not only to this Brahmanda, I don't belong to any of the Brahmandas. My only identity is Gopi Bhartur Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasanu Dasaha. My only identity is that I am a servant of the servant of the servant of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He will be situated in that. Prapanche Thakakale Durbhagyakrame Jadi Kono Vyakti Atmavritti Bhakti Te Pravishta Hoyau Patitahan Taha Hoile Tahar Ar Adhik Ki Durgati Ghatilo. Now, Prabhupada is telling that while in this material world, he has given up all his material duties and he has taken up to the activities of Atma. But after that, he had fallen down before attaining perfection in a particular path. Prabhupada is telling what loss is there in it. What loss is there in it? Like when we are endeavoring to do something, we failed. It's okay. It's better than not doing an act. In English, there is a saying, something is better than nothing. And there is an extension to it, nothing is better than nonsense. Something is better than nothing, Nothing is better than nonsense. Now we are engaging in this material activities, that is only nonsensical activities. Why nonsensical activities? Because ultimately we are going to get this only more and more. Therefore, a person who has endeavored something and the process failed, people may say, you see, that person has, he went there but he failed. But I have not even gone to that platform yet. I have not even gone to that platform. He has become an unsuccessful person there, but he has not become unsuccessful in the entire lifespan. If we see, we are talking about a person's success or a failure in a span of, let's say, one lifetime, probably, at most. We are not even there for that person's one lifetime also. Let's say, we have seen a person's fall down, but after 20-30 years, the same person in the very lifetime, he or she has picked up, and then that person has become a great devotee. Probably meanwhile, within this 20 years, I might have lost my life, but while I was living, I was always this person, you see, this big failure. If I have to give an example for a big failure, he is the one. I'll just keep on talking about that person. But what happened in the very lifetime of his, I have not even witnessed it. Therefore, Prabhupada here is telling that what is the loss by taking Hari Bhajan if one has given up life, or one has lost his life, or one has fallen down? What is the loss? The other day we heard the example. In the border, army is there. The Indian army is supposed to fire on the Pakistani army or the Chinese army or whatever it is. Take for any example, I am telling. On the border, the armed force, the army is there, army person. And then he has gone there to protect the border. But in the process, he lost his life. But still his life is successful. He'll be given award by the government. You will not say this failure is a failure. We sent him at the border to stop the other persons to infiltrate into our country, but this guy had lost his life there. Forget about him. He is not a contributor to Indian, what do you call, security, whatever. Will the government say that? No. He is still not a failure. While protecting also, if he is dead, he is greatly honored by the government and is greatly honored by all the citizens of that particular country. That is why devotion is also like that. Even if one has temporarily fallen down, it is not loss. Varnashrama-dharma labhya पुण्य ओ विशृंखलता हेतु पापो उभय कर्म फल प्राप्य नश्वर प्रयोजन मात्र. And on the other hand, Prabhupada is telling that Varnashrama-dharma, one is following Varnashrama-dharma. If one is doing good activities, he will get piety. One is doing bad activity, they are getting sinful reactions. So when one is engaging in Varnashrama-dharma, one is caught in either sin or piety. Sin or piety. Not coming out of it. But sin is also binding. Piety or pious activities, they are also binding. Because one is shackled with the golden chains doesn't mean that, wow, it's a matter of some attainment or merit. No, he's still bound. Other person may be bound by iron shackles. This person is bound with a golden shackles. But both are, you will say, ultimately they are bound. So, pious and sinful activities are like that. One is bound by, the iron shackles and other by the golden shackles. But both are ultimately shackles only. So, Prabhupada is telling that in Varnashrama-dharma, it's only bondage. Whereas in Bhakti, even if there is a fall down, there is no loss. प्रयोजन बोधई से ही पाप पुण्यमय स्थूल सूक्ष्म देह स्वीकार करें. And he thinks that, oh, this is important, this is also very essential, this is also very essential. Thinking like this, he is repeatedly born in this material world, taking birth, dying, taking birth, dying. Oh, I need to do this also, I need to do this also. He is not understanding that what he is ultimately needed to do. He has to do Hari Bhajan. He is not understanding this. But he is doing, oh, I need to perform this activity also, I need to perform this activity also. So he is caught in bondage. Kintu यदि भगवत भक्ति प्रबल হয় তাহা হইলে যাবতীয় নশ্বর ক্লেশ বা সুখের হস্ত হইতে নিত্যকালের জন্য অবসর লাভ ঘটে. But if one becomes very, very strong in devotion, then one will be relieved from this bondage of happiness and distress permanently. Permanently, he will be released from the bondage of happiness and distress. What kind of happiness? Material happiness, which is actually there is no material happiness. Absence of misery we call as happiness. How are you? We will say we are good. Actually, we are not unwell, that's why we are good. We are good means we should be very, very happy. But absence of a negative thing we call as, staying positive. But it is not so. So, the happiness in this material world is not true happiness. Prabhupada is telling that when one's bhakti becomes very, very strong, one will be permanently freed from both happiness and distress of this material world. যদি কেহ বলেন বর্ণাশ্রমের সুষ্ঠু আচরণে জীবের যে মঙ্গল লাভ্য হইতো ভক্তি বিচ্যুত ব্যক্তির তাহাও লাভ ঘটিবেন না, তৎপ্রতিকূলেই বলিতেছেন এই উভয় প্রকারে, অর্থাৎ ভক্তি বর্জিত হইলে এবং বর্ণাশ্রম ধর্ম পালিত হইলে কিছুই লাভ বা ক্ষতি নাই. So then an argument may come that if one has given up Varnashrama-dharma, or one is following the Varnashrama-dharma properly, at least he would have got the fruits of those things. Because he had given up that and he has also not become a success in devotion, he is deprived of even the auspiciousness that comes out of following the Varnashrama-dharma at least. But in this verse, Narada Goswami has confirmed very strongly, no, there is no loss. He is still at gain because he made some progress at least. We say failures are stepping stones to success. We say that. So a failure need not be seen as a failure. And particularly in devotion, there is no failure. In devotion, there cannot be any failure. Devotion is always success. Whatever little progress that we have made is a success in itself. Even a little advancement in devotion, swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayato mate bhayat. Even a little advancement in devotion will be most, welcome. औपाधिक लाभ स्वप्न दर्शने न्याय अकिंचित करतार ताहा लाभ मने कोरा अज्ञाथार परिचय मात्र. Now whatever material duties we are performing and we are thinking that we will get the fruits of this, Prabhupada is telling that it's just like getting something in a dream. In a dream we are seeking, yes, I will get this, I will get this. But it's actually a dream. You have not really attained it. So even if one has perfected in this material world, it's just like something very, very far away from you always. Tasmad idam jagat ashesham asat swarupam. Swapnabham astadishanam hurdukha dukkham. Brahmaji is telling, Tasmad idam jagat ashesham asat swarupam. This material world is asat swarupa, is temporary. Swapnabham, it's like a dream. It's like a dream, means there is no real object in it. In dream, there is no real object. It's just an imagination of presence of something, that's all. And as soon as our dream is broken, we will immediately realize, oh, that was just an imagination. That was just a dream. That was false. That was non-existing. We'll immediately understand. So Prabhupada is writing here, whatever we think that we are attaining by performance of this Varnashrama-dharma, etc., is just like attaining something in a dream. And if one thinks that, oh, I attained something, that is just indicating a person's foolishness only. It's just his foolishness. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, Agyayaivam gunan doshan mayadishtanapi swakan dharman santyajya yah sarvan mam bhajate sacha sattama. Srimad Bhagavat says, knowing very well the good and bad, or merits and demerits of various activities in this material world, of whatever I have directed. Varnashrama-dharma is also directed by Supreme Lord only. It's given by Supreme Lord only. But whatever instructions or whatever dharma I have given, a person who understands the merits and demerits of that particular activity, of that particular dharma, and gives up to perform my bhajan, I understand him to be topmost. The Lord is telling that it is I who have given that dharma, but a person who understands the merits and demerits of that particular dharma and gives up for my service, he is supreme. Also, Srimad Bhagavat says, Na bhajanti avajananti sthanad brashta patantyadaha. Srimad Bhagavat says, Na bhajanti avajananti, a person who is a foolish person, who does not perform my bhajan. A fool who does not perform my bhajan, sthanad brashtaha, he will fall from his position. He is not talking about whether it is a Brahmana, Kshatriya. Any person who does not do my bhajan is a fool, number one. He sthanat brashtaha, he will fall down from his place. He may be a Brahmana now, but if he has not performed my bhajan, he will fall down. Where will he fall down? Patantyadaha. Adaha means greatest fall down. It is a greatest fall down. Even if one has executed the Varnashrama-dharma properly, but he has not performed bhajan, that is the greatest fall down. Whereas a person has given up Varnashrama-dharma and while performing bhajan, he has fallen down, that's not called a fall down. Because bhakti is Sharanagati. The Lord is there to rescue us. Sharanagati means complete dependence. Completely freed from my own independent thought and giving myself or depending completely upon Supreme Lord's mercy. That is called Sharanagati. Like a father who is holding the hands of a baby, there is no danger of falling down. He may slip, he may trip the baby, but the father, because he is holding, he will not let the baby fall down and hurt himself or herself. Sharanagati is like that. In a person who has given up Varnashrama-dharma, but he has taken up Krishna Bhakti, even if there is a fall down, the Lord is there to rescue. In Gita it is said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Give up all duties just surrender unto me. Whatever sins that you think you may incur by giving up those duties, I shall free you from all those. Don't worry. Chaitanya Charitamrita says that पूर्व होइते परवर्ती आदेश होय प्रबल. Whatever order has been given once and later, in a later stage, the order has been changed, then the second order is more powerful than the first order. I said, please bring me a glass of water. I said, no, forget it, I don't want now. The second one, because I used it later, that is more, it has to be given more emphasis than the first one. I said, please bring me water. I said, no, I don't want. Which means, still I bring the water. He says, no, did you not hear me? I don't want, just keep it there, I'll take later. I just give a very simple example. In a similar manner, in entire Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has given so many instructions. Perform karma, perform yoga, perform dhyana, perform this, perform that, all those things. And then ultimately he said, Sarva dharman parityaja, give up everything. Now we are still saying that, oh no, Krishna asked me to do that karma, he asked me to do this karma also. No, he already told you, don't get into that, just give up. Give up all those things and surrender to me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo, I shall free you from all sins. Means, here, even if one has given up Varnashrama-dharma and has taken shelter to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the Lord is telling that any sin that you might incur by giving up Varnashrama-dharma, I am there to rescue you. Don't worry. That is why, if dharma is done to perform, to please Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, that is called dharma. But what is the use of that dharma for the sake of, performing it, for the sake of impressing others? For the sake of impressing others, I am performing. And there is, what benefit I shall derive out of it. And then, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Chari Varnashrama jadi Krishna nahi bhaje, swakarma karite se raurave hodi maje. A person who is performing any of the Varnashrama-dharma, whatever Varna, whatever ashram one belongs to, he is performing all those activities, but Krishna jadi nahi bhaje. But he is not performing bhajan of Krishna. Then what is his state? Swakarme korite se raurave pade maje. Even while, if he is performing his own activities so nicely, he will fall into the Raurava Naraka, a hell called Raurava. Raurava means where there is intense suffering. He will fall down to that particular hellish planets. Means, here, through this entire verse and through purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, they are telling that we don't have to worry about what fruit we will get if we fall down on the path of devotion. Don't worry about that. It is the most safest journey one can take. Devotion is the most safest journey. In other journeys, in other paths, there may be some problems. There will be problems. But, even if one has attained perfection in that path, one has not actually attained the true perfection. True perfection lies in performing Krishna bhajan. Okay, so this is the end of this purport. I will stop here today. There was a question which I wanted to answer today, but as time is not permitting, I will take this question up tomorrow and then continue Srimad Bhagavatam after that. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.